Okay, I'm from Andong, and I'm going to introduce a way to preserve the sustainability of the World Heritage value. Okay, the content, the first one, we're going to introduce World Heritage Hawaii Village, and then second, traditional village Hawaii, the traits for the preservation, and then third, attempt to conservation and utilization of sustainable value, and then finally, we're going to talk about conclusions. Okay, that's how it looks like. The Hawaii village is the water flows in S shape. So history, it starts from the 600 years ago from the Pungsan Liu clans. Clan means the same family name. People lived in same village for 600 years, and then it designed it as an important folklore material in 1984. And then household and population is about 125 household and 235 people live there. Approximately about 70% of the population is Hawaii Liu clan, and it is designated as a cultural heritage. They got 22 of it, including intangible and tangible and lots of heritages. And then tourists, approximately like 803,000 per year, and approximately 2,300 per day. And after we've been designed as a World Heritage, as a UNESCO, it exists more than 108 million people. And then outstanding universal value of Hawaii is unique, or at least exceptional testimony to the cultural tradition or to civilization which is living or which has been disappeared. And it's Korea's representative lineage village, which can be experienced a long history through the building monuments in the village. And then typical elements of lineage village, such as Jongga, is the main family house of the eldest son, and private homes and pavilions and lecture halls. An outstanding example of types of building, architectural or technological ensemble or landscape which illustrates a significant strategy in human history. Houses are Jongga, title lift houses and detached house, and Confucian buildings such as private homes, pavilions, lecture halls, shows the historical development and the artistic value of Joseon dynasty. It's between 15th to 16th century. And pavilions and lecture halls are located in the mountains and scenic sites, and where the buildings are in harmony with nature. A traditional human settlement which is representative of culture or human interaction with the environment, especially when it has become vulnerable under the impact of irreversible change. Excellent example of traditional human settlements of the late Joseon dynasty, Confucian society based on the rice farming on natural terrain with use feng shui, require preservation to cope with the danger of being undermined by modernization and rapid urbanization. Sorry, it's keep moving, sir. Village is in balance with beautiful natural scenery, production activities, and then Confucian ideas. Okay, being designed as a World Cultural Heritage, okay, monumental structures, and we move on to agreement of the convention to the recent inclusion of the intangible value, including historical village landscapes. And then it provides an opportunity to expand the conceptual scope of the World Heritage. Okay, the concept of the preservation. The value of preservation has also changed from the maintenance of physical heritage to maintaining sustainable lifestyles of the local communities connected to their heritage. This change implies the reflection on the interpretation that true preservation and the maintenance of the such preservation is possible if the focus is on people who is living among, use, and own the heritage. Okay, about the residents sharing the traditional living culture and then a place with the carry on and pass down the traditional living culture through the long history, and then transmit and preserve sustainable heritable values, shows a correlation between those who own, use, and embody heritage and the maintenance of their traditional heritable values. The environments where, strive and their live have heritage value. It's living heritage, the Hawaii village is. And the case of Hawaii village, which is included includes historical environment and intangible values. The most important thing is to establish and implement the preservation policies from the perspective of residents to attract sustainable preservation. The conflict factors of heritage preservation in Hawaii Village. First thing, the conventional testimony between the preservation of value of all areas of living culture hand down to the generations. And second thing, the residents who seek for the convenience of modern society. And then third, cultural needs of visitors who visit the Hawaii Village for the World Heritage values. And then preservation of sustainable World Heritage value. First thing, we're going to analyze the factors threatening the preservation. And second, World Heritage applying value. And third, roles of the local community. And then we're going to talk about some pressing preservation issues. First thing is the changes to the living environment, like extended family into the nuclear family. And then, of course, pressure for the new space and rural exodus. And then environmental pressure, like poor sewage or like shortage of vehicles and water pollution. Of course, natural disaster like flood and fire. And then changes in tourism. Okay, there's our preservation strategy, and this we call it 5C strategy, but I don't think it's too long to read, so I hope you can read from the back as a screen. So it all becomes to the sustainable living heritage. Okay, the preservation targets: intangible cultural heritage, and then traditional structure of house, and a unique natural landscape, and then clan organization and order, and mechanism of village organization, and conservation commitment of village residents. So, the attention of the conservation and utilization of the sustainable value. The first thing, the village master craftsman system. The purpose of the village master craftsman system is designed to transmit and preserve the remarkable universal value of the humanity possessed by the World Heritage Site of Hawaii Village, discover and protect and foster talent in art and technique of Hawaii Village unique living culture. And this the designation target as the village craftsmanship. So it's major practical field like lectures and religion and society community fields, as you've seen it, and entertainment area like traditional fireworks, and culinary fields like family cuisine, traditional, and art and craft field like mask maker and totem pole master, all this. And then notification of the designation of the village craftsmanship, we start from the May 3rd to get a working level conference concerning designing to the folk village craftsmanship, craftsman by the Cultural Heritage Administration. And then we move on to identify and design to of craftsman, and then report a craftsman designation research. So we made 28 people in 12 categories, like Dashers and Ferryman and Totem Pole Master. And then year 2012, Andong Hawaii Village, we added some more categories with more people. So now total we have 34 people were designed in 15 categories for the master program. And then second thing, operation of the World Heritage Special Lecture Program. It's the purpose, understand the value of course, the World Heritage, and then transmit the authenticity and the integrity of the value of the Hawaii Village to the destinant, and then contribution to the attract sustainable visitors in Hawaii Village. And plan, we're going to do it from the April to November. It's already started for 8 months, and then it's going to held in Hawaii Village. There's a museum, and then the target people, number of people is the village people, residents, 50, and then cultural tour guides who's working in the village, about 30 of them, and then lecturer are going to be regional professors and then experts in the field. And then this is about the contents, what they're going to teach and then what they're going to learn about it. Like, you can read from the chapters, and then expected effect is World Heritage High Village inheriting the traditional culture and then contribute to the transmission. And then second thing, revealing the authenticity and integrity of the High Village. And then third, preserving the sustainable World Heritage value and attract the visitors. Okay, this is photo of it. They're studying together and then they're visiting other World Heritage in Korea. And there's a field trip photos. Okay. And then the third, the Heritage Utilizing Program is experiencing the system of living cultural heritage. The purpose of this is Heritage Utilizing Program is designed for visitors to experience the living heritage value of High Village on OUV of humanity to advertise the authentic value of High Village and accordingly attract sustainable visitors and convey the traditions in High Village to future generations. Okay, this is the plan. That program in High Village traditional life culture presentation and experience the program is from the April to October. We're learning for 7 months. And then host is Andong City, the district government. And then sponsor is the Prevention Society from the village. And budget is about 50 million won for doing this. And then there's the popular program that we are learning now. The first one is traditional marriage and then funeral demonstration. The second thing is the sensitive touch of High Village, the others outings and historical context, old storytellings. And third one is reproduction of traditional living culture and experience the program. And straw arts and craft experience program with village craftsmen. They make totem poles and masks together for the we have program. And then there's a lot of expected effects as you've seen in 3 minutes, okay. As you can read, there's the expected effects from this learning class. And then this is the last one, the High Village Utilization Benefit Program. So it's transmit and preserve the cultural tradition with living heritage values and operate the program which can be experienced authentically and integrity of World Heritage values and lay the groundwork for the sustainable preserving management of World Heritage Village. Okay, that's the plan. We learn for year-round, and then venue is High Village. It's near the traditional academy, and that's the contents. And the host is High Village Preservation Society, and budget is pretty much so government pays and province budget and city budget. So we add up all together to learn this program. So this is the program for the utilization, like a World Heritage promotion and Confucian culture, and then preservation, utilization for folk culture. I don't think I have enough time to read all this, and that's the effects we're going to be expected, like improving World Heritage and sustainable program instead of one-time event, maximize the publicity and more. Okay, conclusion, the village residents continuous World Heritage related to international competence reinforcement, and then it becomes to the sustainable discover and registration of the World Heritage, and down to the World Heritage preservation, and we're going to manage it and compensate the application system, and then sustainable development and conservation of the World Heritage. Sorry, I was speak too fast because I was kind of too time short. But okay, thank you very much for presentation.
Thank you very much. So after these 3 presentations, as I mentioned earlier on, we will do a little round of questions and answers. So please let us know if you have any questions to those presenters of the 3 cases right now, or even comments also linked to the earlier ones.
Bueno, solo aprovechar para hacer un comentario. Creo que estos tres proyectos, además de tener obviamente ciertas coincidencias, es bien importante apreciar el trabajo de metodología, especialmente este último de Andong, y sugeriría a la mesa el poder compartir las presentaciones, ¿no? Que creo que ya estaba pensado, porque los términos y la manera de la presentación nos puede servir a todos para afinar los proyectos una vez que se regrese a cada uno de sus lugares, pero creo que o quisiera hacer ahí de manera imparcial, pero sí quiero felicitar a este trabajo de Andong por este trabajo de metodología y de terminología, además, muy bien presentado.
Any further comments, suggestions from, Françoise?
Une question pour Andong. Vous avez beaucoup parlé des habitants, vous avez moins parlé, et ça apparaît dans votre papier, du problème que la nomination a généré par le tourisme. Vous avez, dans le papier que vous nous aviez envoyé, mentionné que l'arrivée massive de touristes mettait en péril la conservation, la bonne conservation. Vous pouvez nous en dire un petit mot ?
Okay, I don't know I can answer you properly, but this is for this program only for the people who does live here, because they're kind of maintenance and they live there, and they're kind of human heritage for us, and then because they have been doing it, following from the upper generation to the down generation for 600 years, doing same thing, but they really want to, because world is changing very rapidly in Korea too, like using IT things and computer and all the high vehicles and all this stuff. So our main focus was on the people who actually live in village. And then we do, of course, we do have maintenance for the visitors, and then reconstruct the walls and stuff. We put a lot of budget on the fixing it and maintenance to sustainable, like building and architect. But now we are more focusing on make the resident happy in the village, actually. That's what it is.
I've got a question too. How did you get the people in the village being interested in the project? How they decided one time to be part of this project?
Actually, this program, we only focus on the resident people who live there, and then we adopting a lot of ideas from them, actually. So we're going to have a lot of meetings, like every week. We're going to have talk, and we're going to have a meeting with the people who live in the village, and then we're adopting a lot of opinion from them, and what kind of class you want, what kind of lecture you like to listen, and what kind of field trip you want to go and learn. And then we kind of adopting everything from the village people. So their attending and participating rate is very high in our village, yes.
I would like to check, did you say that there are 235 inhabitants how many inhabitants are there in the community? how many people live there? And these people receive 2,000 and something tourists? So it's,
Okay,
I'm trying to understand the proportions of the...
Okay, there's 235 people live there. Not everyone is working the tourism side. There are some of them is farmer, and then someone is like dancer, and someone makes mic. But some people, they work in the downtown area, and they just come back there and live there, and then they spend their time like in always. And then we, of course, from the city hall, people who goes there and work there too, like interpreters and then maintenance people and government people, they work there, but they don't live there. Okay. So.
And you mentioned there are 125 houses. So, like, how many people, how many families are there? Are less than 2 people per family, or how does it work? I'm curious.
It's kind of all different because this kind of clan is clan village. So it's formed from the eldest son. So eldest son only can have a house. So other family is like moving, but most of the big house in the village, they won't never move. The eldest son have to carry on and they have to live there. It's kind of family tradition in Korea. So it means doing for 600 years. I think almost around 100 houses. Like family member is 3 to 4. It depends, but normally it's 3 to 4 now lives there, yes.
Okay, thanks.
Maybe just one final question. Since, well, obviously the proportions are very different in your place from other cases here, how would you suggest or see the transferability of what you're doing in your World Heritage site and what can be transferred to other cities and shared with other cities?
I want to talk about this Andong village is kind of famous tourism destination now in Korea. So we're having a lot of tourists come in and see it, especially the celebrities, and then some people come, like famous people come and visit, so it become more famous. So all we worry and the most focused thing is make the village people happy. So make them live there, and then we have to give them what they need, and then their demands, like for the modern society. So I think when you go into the High Village, they have an entrance fee, and then the government, the local district, they put a lot of budget for their well-being and then social welfare for the live there and carry on. Even they don't do activities for the special activities, just want them to live there for carry on their family tradition. That's what we do. So I don't know if it's going to apply in Europe or your country, but for us, because it's living heritage, so our main focus is residents who live in the village. That's pretty much about it.
Just to follow up, are they really happy now, and how do you know they are happy?
그들이 정말 행복한 것 같냐고 주민 혹시 그걸 어떻게 아냐고.
주민 수습이나 비만 프로그램에 자발적으로 참여하고 있다는 거고.
오케이.
세계유산 특강 같은 프로그램은 작년에는 한 20년 정도 참여를 했지만 원래는 지금 이 특강 프로그램에 주민 스스로가 이제는 우리 마을을 지켜야 되니까 한 60년 정도.
알겠습니다. Okay, first time there was very strict area, and they don't want to open, and they're not really interested about our project and then program from the city hall. But now they are very happy because after, I think the biggest change from we were listed as a UNESCO World Heritage, people become very proud of themselves to keeping their traditions, and then they know the value of the tradition now, and then they are very happy to show the tourists and visitors of their tradition, like traditional ceremony, like a marriage and then funeral. So a lot of people come and see it, like of course academically, and sometimes people casually want to see it because it's like even in Korea it's difficult to see it now. So it's only keeping it there, so they have their self in proud. So when we have a lecture program, they're really happy to attend it. They want to learn more, and I'm not really sure. I don't live there, so I'm not really sure they're really happy, but I think they're enjoying because their attendance level of the attending class is very high, so we can decide that they're happy to attend our program. That's so far as I know.